Hello Year 5 and 6 and welcome to today's assembly all about e-safety and your digital footprint. Today we are going to be learning about how to be safe on the internet and when you are using your phone and when you are online. Much in the same way in which we try to be as safe as we can when we are in the normal world, when we cross the street, we make sure we look across the street. And in the same way in which we do that in real life, we have to be safe as well when we are online. So my first question to you is, why do people enjoy using social media websites? Please pause this video now and think about some reasons. Here's a list of some reasons. They can socialize with their friends. They enjoy being informed and kept up to date on the latest news about friends, relatives, and peer groups. People can collaborate easily with their peers and friends. They can give or receive emotional support, which has been very important over lockdown. It helps them with their learning in an informal setting, and it helps people discover and explore alternative interests. Have a think about what you use the internet for. At the moment, you're using it for your learning, but I'm sure you might also use it for other things. My next question to you is, do you know what the age restrictions are for social media? Most social media platforms have a minimum age restriction. So looking at some here, the minimum age restriction for most social media platforms is 13. So Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, you all technically have to be 13 in order to have these. If you are not 13, you need special permission from your parents to have these social media platforms. And then getting older, you need to be 16 to have WhatsApp and over 18 to use some of these other social media platforms, unless of course you have permission from your parents. I have compiled some top tips to stay safe online, and here is my first one. Don't share personal details. Don't upload or share anything you wouldn't want your parents, carers, teachers, or future employers seeing. Once you post something, you lose control of it, especially if someone else screenshots or shares it. There have been many horror stories of people sharing information that then gets spread and shown to people that they really didn't want them to see. There have also been examples of where information is shared that they didn't want their future employers to see, and it has meant that they didn't end up getting the job. Make sure you also keep things like your address, phone number, full name, school, and date of birth private, and check what people can see in your privacy settings. If you do have social media, go and check what your privacy settings are and make them as private as possible. Remember that people can use small clues like a school logo in a photo to find out a lot about you. And there are people out there on the internet who might not be as friendly or as nice as you might hope, and can be out there trying to find out things about you. Watch out for phishing and scams. Phishing is when someone tries to trick you into giving them information like your password. Someone might also try to trick you by saying they can make you famous or that they're from a talent agency. Never click links from emails or messages that ask you to log in or share your details, even if you think they might be genuine. If you're asked to log into a website, go to the app or site directly instead. If someone on the internet who you don't know, who you've never seen before, is asking you for a password, don't give it out. Think about who you're talking to. There are lots of ways that people try to trick you into trusting them online. Even if you like and trust someone you've met online, never share personal information with them like your address, full name, or where you go to school. You just don't know who's sitting behind that laptop on the other end. You never know. Keep your device secure. Make sure that you're keeping your information and your device secure. So in the same way in which you wouldn't leave your laptop lying around on the bus or on the street, don't give out your password to people you've never met before. So, as I've said, you should never give out your password or login information. Make sure you pick a strong, easy to remember passwords, and if possible, try and use different passwords for different logins. Because if one person manages to get your password for one thing, and it's the same password you use for all your other apps, then they can hack all your other apps too. Another tip is to cover your webcam or your camera. Some viruses will let someone access your webcam without you knowing, so make sure you cover your webcam when you're not using it. What you can do is get a little post-it note or a piece of paper and stick it on your camera when you're not using it. Okay, check your privacy settings. Some viruses, so all you need to do here is go into your privacy settings and make sure that they are set as privately as possible. Here are some simple social media rules. Rule number 1, only have friends online that you know and trust in the real world. So adjust your privacy settings to friends only on social media websites will restrict who can view your information. Number 2, make sure private information remains private. So the less private information you supply when filling out your bio, the better. Personal data can end up in the wrong hands. There is no need for you to put all of your information on your social media. If they're your friends, they know you anyway. They don't need to see it all in your profile. Rule number 3, uncheck the public search results box. If you do not uncheck the public search results box, anyone can find your social media page through a browser search. Again, your friends are your friends in real life. You don't need to be accessible to them online necessarily. Rule number 4, safeguard your reputation. When you post something on a social media website, it becomes available to anyone to read and extremely hard to delete. Once your information is on Facebook, it's their property and they can do what they want with it. What may seem funny today could seem offensive to other people tomorrow. So be really careful about things that you post. Now, I have touched on this before, but I think it's important to note. Remember, I spoke about cookies? So this means that if you search for something on Google or in YouTube, the browser remembers that information, and next time you go looking for something, you might see an advert for that same thing you went looking for. For example, if you searched funny cat videos on YouTube, you will notice that you get many more suggested funny cat videos the next time you go looking. And that just shows you that everything you do on the internet is recorded. I've got this picture here of Donald Trump's Twitter page because this is to show you how algorithms are used. If, for example, you were a Trump supporter and you loved reading articles about Donald Trump, your computer would your browser would start recording that information and give you more and more articles like it. That's to show you that everything you do online is tracked and traced. So please be careful online. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask me. And I hope you've enjoyed today's assembly, year 5 and 6.